The music department at Mason Gross has hundreds of music students, each with their own story of how they came to be musicians. Today, we're going to hear the story of Jeff Sharoff, a close friend of mine. He's a sophomore trombonist, and he's studying to be a classical performer and a music educator. So, Jeff, how did you get started in music?
Well, it all started with my grandfather, who was a jazz drummer. He used to be a violinist, and then he went into the Air Force, and they made him switch instruments, so they put him on drums. And then when he got out, he moved to Las Vegas, where he played in this hotel called the Desert Inn.
Okay.
And he was there. He was a jazz drummer. He had a jazz trio called the Grover Shore Trio, and he was the jazz drummer. And they were like the house band. He would play there every night, like I want to say like 8 p.m. to like 7 or 8 a.m. He had like the night shift, so he was like...
That's insane.
Yeah.
Right. So where do you come into this?
So from there, my dad was always super involved in music because, you know, my grandfather was really passionate about all of his music. So
it became like a family thing?
Yeah, it just became a family thing. And then my mom as well. My mom actually started off in college as a music major, but then she switched to another major. So music kind of runs in the family. So when it came time in like 5th grade for band sign-ups in middle school, my parents were like, "Hey, you should do it."
As you know, a music major, I quite often see people playing instruments that they haven't started with. So I'm going to ask you, did you start with the trombone?
I did. It's actually kind of a funny story. I was with my partner in crime when I was in middle school. The band had come to do like a little presentation of all the instruments to see.
Like a higher up band, I guess, like a middle school or high school.
Yeah, it was like it was just like the concert band of the middle school. They came around and then like all the kids would like do a demo of their instrument, and then we would see like what interests us the most. So me and my friend, while we were doing the sign-ups, and you had to circle one instrument, and we had no idea what to pick, and we were just like, that slide thing, that seems pretty fun. Why not give that a shot? Okay. So like, that's how that started, and I just kept continuing, and then eventually in high school, there were so many opportunities where I was able to go see the Philly Orchestra, and I was able to go backstage and like meet the musicians, and just like, it was just so inspiring to see that level of musicianship when like I was just a high school kid. I had no idea like what the classical music world was like. But then to actually see it was just so inspiring that like by the time I talked to Matt Vaughn and Nitsan Haros, they were playing in the Philadelphia Orchestra at the time. They are now also. They just inspired me, just like talking to them and seeing how like cool they were, how personable they were, even though their level of musicianship. It was really inspiring to just be like, hey, maybe I could do that. Did you do any extracurricular musical ensembles? Yeah, all throughout high school. It started off actually with the Lang family. Okay. Jeff Lang's wife, she's a cellist, and she was a coach at this orchestra, and it was like a Greater Newark Youth Symphony. Yes. With Jeff Grogan, right? Yes. Oh, cool. Yeah, Ginyo. Yeah, cool. And I started off at Ginyo, all because my friend's mother was just like, they need trombonists. Like, why don't you go see if you can get in or something? So I picked up like a random band part from my school, and I brought it over, and I was like, I want to play. And so I just played like this little audition, and I started, and I stuck with it. I played there for 2 or 3 years, and then eventually I moved on to this other orchestra called Philadelphia Sinfonia, which was based right in Philadelphia. And then from there, right after the year after I got into Sinfonia, I auditioned for Philadelphia Youth Orchestra, which is where I was last year. Growing up, I always felt that I learned, the best when I was actually the worst player, or the underdog. Did you ever? What do you think about that? I agree with that so much. I was actually just thinking about this like last week. How when I was in high school, there was another trombonist. His name was Ted. I'll never forget Ted. He was a really funny guy, but he was always really good. I came in when I was a freshman. He was a junior, and he had been playing. I always thought he was like the best. I was like, oh my god, I want to sound like Ted. That helps so much in trying and just motivating myself to get better.
What are your plans after, after Mason Gross, after college, and, if your answer is grad school, then what do you plan to do after that? What's the end goal?
The end goal is I want to be a player that can take any opportunity that comes at me. I want to like sub in big bands in New York City, or be able to go anywhere and just apply my skills there. So hopefully, I guess my end goal would be to win a professional orchestral job, and then teach at university, like around there. That's like my main focus, I guess I'd say. But I really want to be able to take anything. Like I'd love to play on Broadway.
Oh, wow.
That's like another separate dream as well, because I love show music, and it would be so great to get that opportunity. But really, just I guess the overarching goal of my life would be to be able to make my living playing music or teaching music.
Right. Okay.